And welcome to this week's episode
And
of
welcome.
and welcome to this week's episode of the Fake Racers podcast. I got to keep it constant, Davey. I got to make sure they know that they're listening to the Fake Racers podcast every week.
Gotta get an intro. Gotta have an intro.
Got to
It's
have an intro.
not good vibes when you don't have an intro.
Yeah. I got to
Yeah.
I got to get rid of this like crappy mustache is what I got to do. Yeah.
Yeah, give it a trim.
Nah, just get rid of it.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
okay.
This, facial hair. There are a lot of drivers that looked like they had extra facial hair. We actually saw what William Byron would look like with facial hair. That was pretty
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
cool.
Excuse me.
Well, as always, folks, I'm Joe. He's Davey. We're here.
I'm Davey.
Yep. We're here with the Fake Racers podcast. That's Bristol. If you're watching on YouTube, that's like the added benefit of watching on YouTube is you get to see Bristol in the background, just vibing. What a cute puppy. Best of Bristol moments coming soon. JT on YouTube channel.
Oh, good. I'm waiting
Been waiting for that.
Yeah, it's been the content I've been meaning to see.
That's all we need. Just if I just post videos of Bristol, we'll be at 1,000 subscribers in a day or something. You know?
Just become a dog channel.
I mean, aren't we?
Yes, yeah.
It's technically dog produced content, but anyways. Yeah, look at all the producing he's doing back there. We had the Dirt Bristol race on Monday. It was supposed to be Sunday. Supposed to have Heat Saturday. Joey Logano won. Let's start there. Is that a good thing that a not dirt guy won the race?
I don't think it affects the race.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
I think it's probably maybe an argument to people who are like, oh, these drivers are good. They got to be the best and they got to do all these things and all these different tracks. I guess I don't know, maybe that's a notch in their belt. But for me personally, cool.
You don't care.
It's pretty interesting that like the usual, the quote unquote usual suspects were up front. That was pretty interesting. Like Daniel Suarez is obviously like someone who we haven't seen up front a lot this season, but for the most part, Truex was fast.
Kyle Busch was probably going to
Logano.
be quick if he didn't get caked full of mud on lap 1.
Yeah, that kind of stinks.
Yeah, but Suarez was really impressive, right? I mean, he's been strong the last couple of weeks. They got Travis Mack back, and they were really good. They were the best RCR car because, I mean, that 99 car is pretty much a third RCR car, and they were really good. Really,
Yeah.
Daniel Suarez too, no dirt experience. So I think that just goes to show that I think really the experience with the cars was probably the big thing. It's not like the truck series where I think that dirt experience really helps because they're maybe a little slower, a little different. Where these Cup cars have a little more horsepower, and they're heavy. But I don't know. Let's also you made a really good call last week on Ryan Preece. I know he didn't get the good finish, but he was up inside the top 10. I just wanted to. I was thinking about that during the race, so I wanted to make sure I gave you a good job on that call.
I saw him up there. I just think he's a multi-talented guy. I had a weird feeling about him, and he ran really well. He didn't get the finish he deserved, but he ran really well.
Well, his teammate got a good finish, so I mean, for the organization as a whole, that was probably good. But let's talk about first impressions of the dirt race. Now, Friday was a really surreal thing with the practices, right? Also, I think like I saw Dale Jr. tweeted out. I don't know how many other people said stuff about it. I don't know how you feel about it, but it was really nice having practice. I like practice. I think it helps you kind of set the tone for the race weekend for a team and for fans too. You kind of get a good look at who the players are going to be. Maybe that wasn't the case because of the track, but I liked having practice back. What about you, Davey?
I enjoyed it. I obviously I'm working when practice is happening, so I'm not really seeing much of it. But I'm sneaking peeks at my phone, and I got MRN and all that stuff. But I'm paying attention, and it was nice to have that sort of a hustle and bustle back in the garage area and on Twitter on a Friday. It was a good little. I don't know if I want to say it added anticipation to it, but yeah, it was something that I missed. I missed that. I missed that feeling.
And I practice is good, in my opinion. And maybe it's expensive for teams. I'm sure it costs teams obviously more money probably to practice than not practice, and that goes without saying, right? But a lot of those guys, you're still employing them that day. And you're still giving them a day at work. Really, the cost is associated with the backup car, and then the travel. for bringing guys to the track an extra day and having to have them sleep there and whatnot. But at least it was Bristol, so everyone was close to home. Anyways, that was a tangent. I like going on those tangents. Let's talk about. Obviously we had the rain out on Saturday. Everyone, you had some very pointed opinions, and that's why people need to follow you on Twitter at Davey Hazard, linked in the description below, about everyone reacting on Saturday to this thing. Why was that?
Everyone on Saturday?
On
What do you
Saturday.
mean?
Saturday before we even raced.
Yeah.
You had said something about the people saying sucks and this is bad. We're saying that.
Yeah,
And
people were complaining. Well, so we saw like a lap of a truck race where the truck obviously had too much moisture in it for the cars. The cars have windshields. I'm not saying take away the windshields. I'm not like that kind of person. But like the cars have windshields, the trucks, and it was like, you know, we saw a lap of racing, and then it rained, and everyone's saying, "Oh, this is a disaster. This is why we shouldn't do it." It's like we weren't gonna race today for the most part at any track we went to. And I saw I think it was actually I think it was in the Dale Jr. download that released last night. Marcus Smith was on and he said like 26 tracks on the NASCAR schedule had rain on Saturday. So it's not like it was just everyone was freaking out. Everyone was freaking out.
yeah.
On Saturday, like this is a disaster. Oh, look at all the dirt on the windshields. Track had a little bit too much moisture in it, and then the trucks have windshields. Like it's we can fix
Right.
this. That's the thing about a dirt track is it's changing, and we can change it to help that.
Right. And I think
freaking out.
the point needs to be made. It's not that you can't say, "Oh, NASCAR made an oopsie. They shouldn't have sent him out there." It's not, but to just write off the event as a whole. I think it was just that's not what you do. You saw 2 laps of racing and practice on Friday. The only complaint for the whole weekend was the dust.
Yeah.
When the dust settles, it was a good weekend.
Mm-hmm. And we'll get to like the dust and the stuff, but that again is a problem that can be fixed. Yeah, exactly. It is.
I mean, I don't know. Saturday I was disappointed, right? I think like anyone else, I was disappointed. And then if you were disappointed and you wanted to watch some racing, you should have tuned into JTN because we had a banger of a Nashville Fairgrounds race. But
we did actually.
It was really good. Congrats, Cal, on the victory again. No, you're probably not watching this because no one watches this.
He's definitely not. He's definitely not. But if anyone of the USRL is listening to this or watching this,
you gotta tell him.
Cal, we said good job. And
not gonna mark
listen/watch the podcast.
Don't mark it for him either. Don't tell him exactly what time, because if you do that, you're just defeating the purpose. Anyways, we people just kind of knocked it off on Saturday. I don't like that. And then we kind of knew that we weren't gonna race Sunday with the way the forecast was, and obviously the flooding and whatnot. People were trying to say, though, talking about recent Bristol spring races and how there's been a lot of rain. And it's the same thing with the 500. People always, there's a lot of rain. Why do we race it why don't we start earlier? Why don't we consider moving it back and putting a couple races before it out on the West Coast? Why don't we? Here's the thing. These dates, there are certain places you can't race at this time of the year. You can't come up to Michigan this time of year. You can't come up to New Hampshire. You can't go up to Watkins Glen. You can't go to Kansas. You can't go, like, there are tracks you just can't go to. It's the rain season for most of the South this time of year too. Like, it's just that's how it is. Plus you have Bristol, it's up in the mountains. Guess what happens in the mountains, Davey?
Due to rain.
You get pop-up showers like crazy. Exactly. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's what happens on a peninsula. You get pop-up showers out of nowhere. It's what happens.
Yeah. I will say I saw a very attractive tweet about and with some schedule reworking obviously to maybe make the West Coast swing include this, but moving the Sonoma and Bristol dates, like swapping them. Which that would be a cool idea, because if it rains in Sonoma, which it probably will be because it's the rainy season in Sonoma, you can race in the rain on the road course.
My only concern with that is you're putting all the West Coast dates in at one point in the schedule, and then those fans don't have a chance to go to the races. That's my concern with it. I'm
Move another West
you'd
Coast
have to,
track to the
but
Sonoma date,
what are you
and then
gonna
move the
do?
Sonoma date earlier in the season. Yeah, I just figured it out.
I don't think you did, because what about Bristol?
Bristol
Now you
gets
just
the
didn't move Bristol at all. You just gave
hmm,
that track the Sonoma date. So
yeah. Hmm.
it can be done. It's not saying that it can't be done. Like, you could go to Coda maybe, and that would kind of
Yeah.
bridge the gap, right? Because you still have the All-Star race in June at Texas, if that's the direction they go with it in the future, which, we'll see. We'll see how it
Is what it
works. It may
is what
work
it
out
is.
good. Don't write it off yet. You can't do that. We can't be telling people to not write off this Bristol Dirt event and then tell them, okay, but you can write off the Texas All Star race, because you don't
Yeah.
know what the format is. You don't. I know Texas poo poo
Okay,
track,
fair enough.
but
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
um,
Format, I get. I get it. I get
yeah,
it.
um, but I think just going off and people say, oh, change the schedule, change the schedule. It's a lot more than just, okay, let's flip these dates like we can in a video game. Like, it's
Yeah. No, I
um
get that.
You also have to think about events that go on in local areas, like for MIS, for example. There's Faster Horses in July, which is a big country music festival that they do at the racetrack. So there's no way you could run a race at MIS in July, because they just wouldn't be ready to do it. Same with Daytona. You have Bike Week down there. You have all kinds of, 24s in January. You have Bike Week. You have all these different events at the Speedway. So there are times in the year where you can't move them, and I'm assuming Sonoma isn't like that, but Bristol also they're also going to do this. They're going to have some more dirt races in the coming weeks.
Mhm.
So for all those people that said, "Oh, that's a huge waste of money because they can't have a lot of fans and they only have it for one race," they didn't. They had it for like a whole month races.
Yeah. Still
Um,
more to come. Like,
and
they're not done. No, seriously, the World of Outlaws is going there.
yep,
Like,
the late
there's
models. Yep.
still more. Yeah.
So let's move on to Monday, because that's when we actually had racing.
Mhm.
Start with truck race. I thought the track was really well prepared. They did a good job of combating the rain, and hopefully everyone's okay in Bristol. No, not like massive amounts of property damage from the flooding and
Yeah.
whatnot, because that's the first concern. And that's why good on NASCAR for canceling the race at noon, by the way, or 11 or whenever they did. Good on them
Yeah.
for doing that. Even though I think everyone knew it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
But good on them not waiting until 3 o'clock to come on the air on Fox and say, oh, the race has been pushed back to Monday. But going to Monday, track prep was really good. They left the track sealed off overnight, so that way it didn't absorb too much water. Got it worked in really good. Track looked fantastic for the truck race, and then Truex just dominated.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah.
This is a problem with the truck series on short tracks in general. I saw everyone saying, "Oh, the Cup race is going to suck because look at how bad the truck race was." Truck races, if you go back to their races at Bristol, Martinsville, not as much at Martinsville, but at Bristol especially, it's a lot of times a lot of 10, 15, 20 lap runs, and then someone does a silly. But congrats to Martin Truex
Yeah.
Jr. for winning the first dirt race at Bristol for NASCAR. Pretty
Indeed.
impressive, right?
Indeed. Yeah. And I mean, obviously, he dominated just about. Like,
Right. And I saw people trying to say, "Oh, he's into the KBM car and blah 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 blah," but then he goes out in the Cup race, and where there's actually competitors that have equal equipment to him, or at least we like to think so. He smoked him again there. You can say that was because he had experience on the track. It probably was, but also, I mean, kind of ran away with it in stage one.
mm. Didn't stay that way though. And the track was changing really quick because there
Mm-hmm.
was and they tried to prep the track before the Cup race, but there's only so much you can do after you just ran a whole race. I mean, like, to be fair to that, like, people were, again, there's just slaughtering Bristol and NASCAR for, oh, it's so dusty, this is a disaster. Like, they had to run two races on a dirt track in the daytime. Two whole races, not like a 30 lap feature on a Saturday night. No. No. They ran two whole races. The track was wore out.
400 laps on that
Yeah.
track by vehicles that are way heavier than most dirt cars do.
Yeah.
So, that helps dry out the track a little quicker too, but whatever, science doesn't matter. You said didn't stay that way for long because lo and behold, Daniel Suarez is a dirt track legend.
That was crazy.
That
I
was
was
out of
so
left
freaking
field.
happy for him. Oh my gosh.
That 99 car, they've been on a roll late. You know, Atlanta, they were running really good, and then they had the issues. I think it was speeding on pit road on the last green flag pit stop, so that
Yes.
got him outside top 15. I think he finished somewhere between 15 and 20. But they had a really good car, and he did a really good job driving. I think they were talking about him having a throttle limiter on there, because Larry Mack was talking about he never goes over this much throttle and blah, 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 blah. And if they did, smart on them
Yeah,
to
that's honestly not a bad idea.
understand your driver's weaknesses and give them the best opportunity to win a race. And if they didn't, Daniel Suarez needs to go do this dirt racing thing more often. Huh?
That was impressive.
The real problems, though, in the race came after the competition caution halfway through the stage. And let's talk about first. Let's talk about competition caution, because this was another thing that people were slamming NASCAR on. Oh, why are we having? You know, that's all they did. All people did all weekend was slam NASCAR for this, slam NASCAR for that. Everyone found something they didn't like. And they were slamming NASCAR on these competition cautions that were going to be halfway in the stage because the tires, right? We saw massive tire wear on Friday, you know, because, hey, guess what? We haven't done this before. We didn't have a Goodyear tire test. We didn't, you know, the Goodyear only makes one dirt tire. And lo and behold, the tires wore out a lot, just like, you know, my first thought was 2008 Brickyard. That was bad. Congrats to Jimmy for winning that race, though. But I thought good on NASCAR for pivoting, being able to pivot like they did.
People really neglect to realize how much of an undertaking this is. Like, yeah, maybe Bristol and SMI, you know, they have dirt guys because they own dirt tracks, but NASCAR's still not a dirt series. NASCAR is not a dirt series. They did the best with what they had, and obviously, you know, you can make arguments, should they be more prepared for a top stock car or whatever. Blah, blah. People are gonna say stuff like that, no matter what. But like, again, I agree with you. They pivoted well and they made the right choices. And at the end of the day, the event went on relatively smoothly for the circumstances they were handed.
Exactly. And I think that's, you know, that was the big thing, is they had to do so much, right? I think I think the big thing, they lost those heats on Saturday. I think that was going to be a big proving ground for figuring out the track prep between stages, for figuring out tire wear a little bit better. When they lost those heats, it was over because they lost a lot of their testing time. The truck race they couldn't really use as a test because truck drivers are truck drivers for a reason. And it's not a knock on them. A lot of them are just inexperienced in general, and I'm not saying that I would do better, because I definitely wouldn't. But it's an experience thing, and there were a lot of guys that was their first time on dirt, because it's a lot of those ranks have been with asphalt late models and what. NASCAR needed those heats on Saturday night. A lot of those drivers needed the heats on Saturday night. They didn't get them, and I think that's what led to a lot of those issues that we saw with track prep and, again, with the tires. Furthermore, you have, at the start of the second half of Stage 2, big old dust bowl decided to form because, you know, they have the 3 minutes and let the track lay there in the sun, and it got real dusty, and they didn't put enough water down. And NASCAR had to pivot again because all the drivers were complaining that they couldn't see, and said, okay, single file restarts for the rest of the race. And real quick, good on NASCAR for sticking to single file restarts for the rest of the race and not going, oh, we're going to go back to double file, because then that's where I would have had a problem.
Yeah.
Because I saw all these people, oh, I changed the rules. There is literally, any rule book, any sports rule book, any rule book in general has a clause in there, hey, we're the sanctioning body. We're the boss. If we need to change something, we will change it, and we will let you know, but we will change it. Mm-hmm. And they did. And they followed their own rule book. And, you know, it's kind of like, it's like having that ace up your sleeve, right? But what did you think about that?
I did not care.
Good.
If that's what needed to be done, that's what needed to be done. People are way too invested in something stupid like that. I don't understand why people got so mad about that. It didn't matter.
Exactly.
It didn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, it didn't matter. It wasn't a controversial, like, officiating decision that affected the outcome of the race in such a way that it was, like, unfair to anybody. So it doesn't matter, and it shouldn't matter. They had to do it. It was a solution to a problem, seemingly, and so they did it. End of.
Plus, drivers, if it's dusty and you can't see, I mean, I know you can't see, but also probably not trying to send it 3 wide when you can't see is a. But
Yeah, yeah.
again, I'm not good, so I thought that was a lot on the drivers. I did. If you know the conditions are bad when it's raining out on the road, and I know it's not competitive when you're driving somewhere, but if it's a monsoon out there, you're not driving at the speed limit. You're below the speed limit. If it if it's a if you can't see, if it's less than a fourth of a mile visibility, you're not driving crazy quick. If it's a snowstorm, you don't drive crazy quick because the conditions are bad. Like I think I think there probably should have been some give and take there that wasn't
You're
there.
you're really angering the people who are like, "What? He's just trying to win the race. He can do whatever he wants because he's trying to win. He's the
That's
race car
fine,
driver. And race car
but
drivers try to win all the time.
right.
And my race car driver trying to win. I'm gonna beat him up."
No, and that's their job. I'm not saying that's not their job, but also part of trying to win is also trying to be there at the end. So,
Thank you.
did I make a good point? I think I made a
Yes,
good point.
you did. It drives people. Those people drive me nuts. Anyway,
Yeah.
yes, you made a great point.
Again, arrive alive. That whole thing. Drive safe on the roads. Don't you drive distracted.
Yeah, don't do dumb stuff.
Don't
I
do dumb stuff. Don't text and drive like this. That's bad, Davey. Don't do that. You worry
No,
me. No.
I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. I'm a
Good.
good boy.
Good. Phone in the glove box. That's where it goes. Call it the phone box. Last stage, they took 10 minutes to really water down the track, which was a good call. Although, and this again not uncommon, a dirt track. Blah, 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 blah. It really did change the track because all of a sudden Joey Logano was really quick, like really quick, and
Yeah.
he and Hamlin kind of had a battle there, and Suarez fell back, and I think Suarez's car was just going away on him, and maybe they over adjusted for the change in the track conditions. But they did a good job of fixing that dust problem pretty quick.
Yeah.
I think that takes us through the whole race though, because I mean you had Bubba Wallace spun and was stopped in the middle of the track, and they didn't throw a yellow.
I did not. I think they were just trying to end the race.
Yeah, I
Personally.
think they were trying to get out of there. But then the 66 got stopped on the apron, or what would be the apron on the front straightaway, and then they threw a yellow with 4 to go, and blah. It was, oh man. Sometimes the inconsistencies are frustrating, even with even knowing why they are, right?
Yeah.
But Logano
They win.
wins. Hamlin
Denny
talks
Hamlin
a big
didn't
game
even.
on the radio, and doesn't do anything. Which again, if he goes in there and he takes out Logano, that's going to be an issue. And there's going to be
Yeah.
people there saying, "Oh, he has to wreck to win," and it's that
You know,
darned if you do, darned if you don't.
here's my thing. It's not even that he talked a big game and didn't hit him. He for like 20, 30 laps at the end of that run, that green flag run, he was running the top, making no ground, losing ground to the leader. The leader was in traffic. That's the only reason he was making ground, is because there was traffic. And consistently slower than Logano, getting caught up by third, who I think at that point was Truex, I think.
Yeah.
And it sends it off into one on the restart and goes to the top and loses second. I don't know if maybe there was something wrong with his car on the bottom. I don't give a crap.
There you go. Good job. Good save.
I don't have to buy anything right now. I don't give a crap about Denny Hamlin not hitting him after talking big game. I give a crap about him. I mean, this could go into a deeper narrative about
Just go.
Denny Hamlin and how I think Denny Hamlin is mentally weak still. Sometimes he makes bad decisions every once in a while, and that's why he's not a champion yet. That was a bad decision. He should have went to the bottom, and he should have gave himself a fighting chance. Instead, he went to the top, which neutered his ability to even come close to winning the race. It was a monumentally bad decision. I wouldn't say choke job because he didn't have anything to choke, but he would have given himself a better shot if he went to the bottom. Even if he had one send where he gets it in under Logano, it's worth it, because Denny Hamlin, like he said in the post-race interview, he's not that kind of guy. He doesn't race like that. He would try to keep it clean. He would give himself a really good shot by going to the bottom, and he didn't. I don't understand it.
Well, it's just short track racing.
Yeah. Good.
Overall, what was your rating of the race? Like, it was good, right? I mean,
I thought it was fine.
yeah.
It was totally fine.
First time out.
First time out, you know, it's NASCAR. Yeah, they're
They're
not
gonna.
NASCAR aren't dirt people. Bristol and SMI, they're dirt people. NASCAR aren't dirt people.
Oh,
They were also dealt a really crappy hand. I almost did it again. A really crappy hand with the two races in one day. Racing in the sun. Huh. It was rough. It was rough for them, but they made it work. And really, if our biggest complaints are going to single file restarts and a lot of dust, we can fix that.
yeah. I
We can
mean,
fix that.
that's the thing with this weekend. I came in with really low expectations. I talked about it last week. I thought it was going to be a show, an S show,
Yes.
and oh my goodness, I was surprised. My expectations were surpassed, and I'm okay with that. My expectations were low, which has to be said. But I thought, minus the dust, which it sounds like, from people that know a lot more than I do, that's something you can fix. And it has numerous solutions too.
Yeah.
Um, whether it be watering down the track, using something different for the top layer, whatever it may be.
Right. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Um, moving the start time, which we'll talk about. Um, it's it's a lot about this was a leap of faith that NASCAR and Bristol Motor Speedway and SMI and Fox even. I know Fox did a lot of pressure to do something like this, do something crazy. Um, it was a leap of faith, and I think it worked. I mean, you saw the TV ratings come out for a Monday race, and people were comparing it. I was trying to forget what race they were comparing it to. The ninth race
What
of
was
They were comparing it to the ninth race of last year or the year before. Um, and the ratings was like 100,000, 200,000 less. And all things considered, Monday afternoon, rain out, that holds water, in my opinion. It holds
Yeah.
water that the race probably would have been pretty successful on Sunday. There was national hype for this race. I mean, they were talking about on the Today Show. They were talking about it on Sports Center. They talked about it on all these different medias that don't normally cover outside the
Yeah.
Daytona 500.
Yeah. Even people that I work with, like I pulled up a stream of it on Monday because I was still at work when it started, and like I was able to pull up a stream, and I'm a guy. I know the streams for me, so I'm like working diligently, trying to ignore it best I can. All my coworkers are standing around watching it, and
Yeah.
like totally bewildered by the fact that they're racing on a dirt track. They're like, "This is great. This is awesome," and I'm like, "It freaking is, man. It really is." So it was. I think people are discounting um, the cool factor of it
Hmm.
completely from people who maybe are more casual fans. People who are more casual fans or people who might tune in once in a while. I guarantee you, every single one of them loved it. Just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying. I'm not just saying, but I'm just saying.
Just saying. Well, I think that race gets thumbs up from both. I think is the moral of the story. Not that that matters because we're a bunch of
Yeah.
we're just two hacks. The
Yeah.
internet. Uh,
Also, and I tweeted about this. Real quick side note. It made me really happy to see a bunch of Cup drivers get out of their cars after that practice session and express how much fun they were having because
yep.
I haven't seen that in a long time. It made me really happy, and I thought that was really important.
Good.
So I just wanted to add that.
Good ad. Good ad.
Good ad.
Let's talk about start times because you and I
Okay.
kind of got mad at each other about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You started this out by saying something along the lines of you're sick and tired of NASCAR bowing down to other sports. What do you mean by that?
Um. Well, it does. Every single dirt guy ever was talking about. I mean, I at least
Mhm.
saw Kevin Swindell talk about on Friday even that the races being held in the daytime is going to be an issue because the track's going to dry out and the dust that we saw kind of near the end of practice is going to be a big deal. So okay, it is what it is, but we have the start times that we have, and that is what it is. And this was on Friday, and then we get to kind of like the rained out stuff. Saturday gets rained out, and then we have Sunday, and then Okay, well the truck race or the cup race is going to be at this normal time. That is what it is. And then that gets rained out, and then we go to Monday, and then it's scheduled. The cup race is scheduled. The truck race is whatever. Truck race has gotten slammed twice now, so they got to go where they got to go. But the cup race is at 4 p.m. on a Monday, and um, this is because of college basketball. I know college basketball is a big deal. I understand that college basketball is a big deal. I understand a lot of people are going to watch college basketball. What I don't understand is there really a is the trade off, is the group of people over here that are watching NASCAR a historically blue collar sport? You know, a lot of working class people watch NASCAR. I'm not saying a lot of working class people don't watch basketball, but a lot of working class, it's historically huge working class presence in NASCAR. The whole country is still in work until 5 p.m. Eastern time, and then for another 2 hours, three, I guess technically three, at least 2 hours, we have a section of the country that is still at work, and for the most part, probably cannot tune into the race. Is that trade off of people? Obviously it kind of stacks and it shelves itself. It steps down as we get closer to 7 o'clock or whatever. But is that section of people really so small that we have to gimp our race by running it at 4 p.m. in the sun when everyone said it was going to be bad? Do we really have to do that to ourselves, dictating exactly how our race is going to be run because of the group of people who might tune out of NASCAR to watch basketball? If you're watching NASCAR on a Monday, you're probably watching NASCAR. I'm just saying. If you're watching NASCAR on a Monday, you are watching NASCAR. You're probably not watching basketball. And so my main problem was we 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 destroyed ourselves to start at 4 p.m. on a Monday during the day in the sun, when that means something. This race normally that doesn't mean anything. For the dirt race, it meant something. It was important. It was an integral part of how the race was going to play out. When's the track going to dry up? When's it going to get slick on the bottom? When's the rubber going to come in? That played a huge part in it. And so that's my problem, is we sit there and we suckle on every other sports league in the world, and we never worry about NASCAR when it comes to like TV stuff like that. And I just don't think that. And obviously, I don't have the data, so I can't properly answer.
Mhm.
But in my opinion, from what I know, it seems like it is counterintuitive for for it to be that way.
What I see, and it's complete opposite, of course. This is like the first time in a long time we disagreed on something. We're actually going to talk about something else I think we disagree on later too. It's crazy. The crazy episode. We're going to go at each other's throats apparently.
You're hate Joe bad.
Bad. Davey, you're bad. Bad vroom vroom.
I know.
That got you angry.
Well, it was just really condescending.
Yeah, well. Again, tones can't say them in tweet. Plus, you've used that phrase before. I was kind of just using.
Yeah,
I was just using your phrase.
People that aren't you.
Well, still.
Also, you can't say, oh, there's no tone setting on Twitter, when tone is, if you Google tone now,
I know,
you will find out that it is a literary device. What's literary mean? Tell me what literary means, Joe. In a book.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I just like to get you riled up, Davey. I don't know what to tell you. I got you riled up. I see it as a complete opposite. College basketball, I know you said working class, blue collar. It's March Madness. It's not like it's any other. Yeah. Again, but do you watch college basketball? This is the point I'm trying to make. Do you? You specifically. So of course you don't care. I'm not saying you should. What I'm trying to say is there's probably 1 million, 1.5 million, 2 million, whatever it may be, that do care, and that's a big thing.
NASCAR, obviously, before that happened.
Hey. And then they got to watch the whole NASCAR race and then switch over. They didn't have to make that choice. I am sick and tired of the whole, we need to be the ones grabbing the bull by the horns. We need to be doing this. Look at Bristol's even getting up now. He's walking out. He hates my argument too. Golly. It's not. They're not in a position where they can do that. This isn't the early 2000s. This isn't you worry about sponsorship dollars, not only from, team's perspective, but the advertisers during the broadcast. Do you think more or less people will be watching the broadcast if it was at 7 o'clock when there's another big national event that's also on it? And the other issue is that event was also on an over-the-air channel. That event was on CBS. Maybe if it was on a cable channel, maybe not. Maybe you do run the race later because, hey, if I don't have cable, I can't watch that anyways, so I'm gonna watch the race because that's the only sporting event on. It's not as simple as just saying, well, and I'm not saying it shouldn't be. I'm just saying it's not. Hey, we can't. Let's run the race at 7 o'clock because that time's gonna make the racing better. We're not gonna have all the dust. That's not. And I think that's something they're gonna look at for next year, right? I wouldn't be surprised if this was a Saturday night race next year. Probably will be. It's not about saying, oh, we're bowing down to these other sports. It's realizing who your competition is. Realizing that your competition has a wider audience in general. I think there's a wider audience for any kind of sport you can just go pick up. Right?
But my problem is we're trading we're in exchange for the for sure eyes that can't watch the race before until 5:30 p.m. their time. Those for sure eyes, we're trading those out for the maybe eyes that we'll get later.
Do you think we would have got more? Do you think there would have been a higher viewership if the race was later? Yes or no? You do?
Yeah.
By how much?
I don't.
Well, I don't think there would have been. I really don't. I mean, the best comparison would be to go back and look at some of the numbers from last year from like the Kansas race or the what was the other midweek? Not the midweeks when there was actually stuff going on. Not the Texas race because that was a Wednesday and that was a mess and that's not a good compare. That's
not at all good.
But that Kansas Thursday race, I don't even think it cracked 1 million viewers. And if it did, it was barely over.
We're also talking.
What?
We're also talking at Kansas.
I know, but you got to view it from their perspective of, okay, well, do we really want to take this risk? Last few weekends with that college basketball tournament that you think nobody watches.
No one was. Yeah, no, I haven't heard a single thing about it. Also, that's
my
not,
team
that's
lost.
That's also not what I didn't say that. I didn't say no one watches it.
No,
I said
I
don't watch it, and I said don't care. That was me.
I know.
Obviously, that was me. But I'm saying the crossover of like
I think you lose
saying,
more people. I really do. I think you lose more people.
I disagree. I think there's a lot of people who for sure tuned in like later or couldn't tune in because of XYZ thing going on the Monday because of it's too early or whatever. And then I just don't know. I don't know how you can trade those people out for the people that might watch because basketball's not on yet. Let me turn on NASCAR. And no one's doing that. And I think there's a lot of people who are like, oh well, I can't watch the race now because I'm at work.
I think another important thing to think about is the streaming side of it. All these major providers they're really trying to boost their streaming portfolio. And hey, guess what's the easiest way to watch a race at work? Phone. I'm just saying, again, it's probably not feasible for the crowd that you're talking about.
I would believe that if the Fox Sports app wasn't garbage.
It is bad.
It's real bad.
It usually takes me 2 or 3 times to try to get it to work.
I've actually given up multiple times. It's not good. Not good at all.
But I think I really do think that your trade-off, you got more viewers by running the race before. We'll never know. So, right? We'll never know.
Yeah. And I want to go back to the grabbing the bull by the horns thing. Like, I'm not saying NASCAR needs to go and like wave it around in front of a bunch of other sports leagues. I'm saying NASCAR needs to be bold, like Bristol on dirt. That's a bold move.
Mm-hmm.
They need to do that. They need to figure out. They need to figure out what works. And NASCAR on Bristol, Dirt Bristol, bold move. NASCAR at Coda, bold move. Cup Series, all these new tracks, bold move. Like next gen car, all these changes, bold move. NASCAR's like making moves again, like it's doing stuff. It's being fun. NASCAR's fun again, and I like that they're taking charge. And every once in a while, I would really enjoy if we took the competition and integrity of the event that we're putting on, and we put that above. Of course, if it's worth it, I think it is. You think it isn't, but in the case that it is worth it, if we put that above that, it would be pretty a-okay with me.
I also think about I had to go to a 5 o'clock MIS race, and then we were fighting darkness at the end of it. Where that was moved because I think the U.S. women's team was playing that day. Um, Plus that race was on FS1, so
Bristol got lights.
I'm not. It's not about the time of day it being run. It's still that was another situation where the TV time was definitely bumped by another sport event due to Fox, and you know what I mean. I think, and that's an important distinction. I mean, I didn't like going to MIS at 5 p.m. Why are we doing? There's no lights. What happens if we have a 20-minute red flag? We're done.
That's stupid.
That was a silly move, but it worked out okay. It was nice and cool, so that was good, I guess. And supposedly more people came than what they thought. So ooh, NASCAR. All right, we've been talking a lot tonight, but we haven't talked about our favorite place to get all our diecast and NASCAR racing related memorabilia. That's circlebdiecast.com. Use the link in the description and then code JTN at checkout. Free shipping on your order of $20 or more. Again, that's circlebdiecast.com. Using code JTN at checkout. If you're listening to us on your podcasting platform of choice, you're going to want to go to circlebdiecast.com and use that code JTN at checkout. I'm telling you, there's a sale coming up. You just got to keep your ear to the ground. We'll tell you about it when there is.
We'll tell you about it.
And we'll even go through everything. I'll make a special episode where we just go through everything they have on sale. But Davey, let's start with you. You got your pick.
I got my
tell the folks about it.
An autograph Corey LaJoie 2020 Plan B sales 124 scale NASCAR diecast in stock. So get it now. It's in stock. It's in stock. It'll come to you. It'll be there. It'll be at your door soon. If you bought it and used the code JTN. I would recommend it. I think it's pretty cool.
You get the free shipping too.
Yeah, and you get the free shipping. And let me tell you, if I did cuss tonight, that was the car I was going to buy. So.
But he hasn't yet.
I didn't.
Yet.
Got a whole lot of show left. Not a whole lot, but enough show left.
Yeah, we already cut a segment, but that's the deal with trying to do these in one take. My pick is one that won't show up at your door right away, but it's one that you should definitely pre-order. Daniel Suarez's Camping World car after a fantastic week.
Beautiful.
Like, that car is so good looking. And you should go get it. Camping World, Camping World, Camping World, Camping World. And then using code JTN at checkout at circlebdiecast.com. Sponsor us, Marcus Lemonis.
That's what I'm saying.
Sponsored everything else.
I'm saying I'll go camping.
I'll go camping.
Hell.
You're gonna use that one now that you know that you can. But yeah, using that code helps us as well as going to our JTN merch store. That's a big help to help us. Davey and I have got our matching hoodies right now. His is in black, mine's in the gray because I don't know.
Because I have no soul or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. However that works. I like the gray. Reminds me of sadness. What were we talking about? Oh, I wanted to say something about Corey LaJoie. I saw this video of him going to a middle school or high school or grade school. I think it was middle school in Gastonia for a little boy. He got invited to the school because everyone was tasked with writing an essay about who they'd want to meet, their hero they'd want to meet at the school, and this kid wrote about Corey LaJoie. And Corey LaJoie showed up. Good on you, Corey.
That's really sweet.
Stand-up guy at Corey LaJoie. So that's why you should go buy his diecast. I'm sure, if you buy his diecast, then they'll start making more of his diecast. That's more money for the drivers and the teams and blah, blah, blah. Buying diecast does help support the drivers, too.
Yeah, and as far as 2020 Corey LaJoie diecasts go, that's the one you got to get.
And then you got to use code JTN at checkout because then you help support us, too.
Exactly.
So you're supporting everybody you love. Corey LaJoie, Davey Hazard, Bristol. So.
We don't love Joe.
No one loves
Joe. We adore Joe.
No one. I wish.
Look at him. Look at him in his haircut.
I know. I got a haircut. This was like a big thing. It took me like 10 weeks.
Went to a barber, got himself a fresh cut, Hey man, I bet if you style that one time, you'd look fresh as hell.
Yep, fresh as heck.
I can say that one.
You can.
Say it.
You
You
can.
can too.
Yeah, well, I like not saying bad words because then I don't go to that place. Wet tires are
Oh.
being tested tomorrow at Martinsville, as well because
Woo!
we've been next gen testing the last couple of days with the Wheel Force car. Chad Canals posted a
Just
really cheeky
do it.
video, real
Just
cheeky
do it.
video.
Just test the tires. If it doesn't work, everyone will shut up. But if it does work, I'll be right. And it's gonna
Yes,
work.
we talked
I'm gonna
about
be
this.
right.
I hate the idea.
Oh, I love it.
I
I think
think
it's great. I
you're
think it's
still gonna
great.
have to dry off
It's
the track. Like you're still
two
gonna have to
hairpins.
dry.
Two hairpins at a road course. That's all it is. Rain tires. It's like a road course, but it's two left hairpins. Love it. Love to see it.
Part of the
It's the best.
part of the idea is supposedly Goodyear's trying to use up these rain tires because they're going to the different wheel next year with the next gen car. So
Yeah.
there's a need
Yeah.
to do it. I believe it's Kyle Larson and Chris Bush are testing on Thursday, so should get a pretty good feedback because both those guys usually give.
Yeah, baby. Rain tires in Martinsville. I bet it's not going to be bad. Everyone likes to talk about. Oh, here's this J-Ski article where they tested rain tires
And
at
Terry
Martinsville
Labonte didn't like it.
in 1992. Yeah, the people who were at that test are now like, yeah, rain tires. They're like old as hell because guess what? That was like 30. That was 30 years ago. I almost said the F.
That would have been bad.
Times are changing.
Times are changing.
And the
I don't.
times are changing, and it's gonna be great. And if it works, and we get a rain race at Martinsville, you know how much fun that's gonna be. Oh, my Martinsville's ruined. Said everyone that was boring.
Just a heater tonight, huh?
Yep, it is.
I just don't like it because I don't know. I think
Tradition.
no, it's not even that. I just
It don't feel right.
no.
I'm gonna get it one of these times.
Part of me, fans having to sit out there if it's still like raining, that kind of stinks. But I know
Give
you
me
make the
ticket.
choice. Yeah,
Give
I
me
know.
the ticket.
I would still be there. I would still be there.
Fans having to sit.
Davey's an 8-bit right now.
God,
An 8-bit. Let's go.
is something wrong?
No,
Oh,
you're good. I can see you. I can just also see the pixels.
Oh, sorry, boys. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to figure out maybe something's updating. No.
Technical difficulties here on the Fake Racers podcast.
Sorry about that.
No, my thing is if you have them out there and then it starts raining a little bit more, the track's going to dry up really quick, and then they're just going to have to come get tires in like 20 laps, which is also, I know, more strategy, which is good, but also like
every rain race that's ever happened in any racing series ever.
you would also think NASCAR is going to have to figure out their rain rules a little bit better for an oval because it's a little more chaotic on an oval, I think, than a road course. So
I guess.
let teams don't throw a caution when it starts raining. Start there. Don't. But on the oval, you'll have to, because you don't need
Will
people.
you?
Yeah, I think so. I would think so. I mean,
Well, I
guys would
think
come down pit road pretty quick, but I still think they would. That's where they'd need that rule.
But why do you need it? Because even when you have the caution, you don't
Quinn
have to
Houff,
come down pit road for tires.
That's true, but Quinn Houff's going to be out there, buddy, and he's going to be trying to make up his laps.
Quinn Houff is.
He's doing better this year.
Yeah. No, he's
I just kind
passable.
I just kind of picked his name because that was the one that crap last year. Sorry, Quinn. You got a cool name, by the way.
Everyone likes a good Quinn. Maybe except me, but like everyone does.
I don't know. I just, again, it's change. It's change.
Change is scary.
It's scary. I'm so scared. No, it's not changing.
Margaret Smith half jokingly talked about discussions of putting a roof over Bristol. That's pretty funny.
That would be cool, and you could definitely do it. If you can hang that Colossus TV, you could definitely put it.
Oh heck yeah! I would love, and I saw someone in a Discord I was in mention this, but I would love if they did it kind of soccer stadium style, where
it opens.
There's an opening in the middle, maybe over like the pit area, because everyone's got tents and stuff up there anyway. But then like the track and then maybe the stands are covered pretty well.
Like Indy.
You know? Yeah, ish, kinda.
Like it is for the stands at least.
Yeah, yeah,
front. Yeah.
yeah. I think it'd be pretty cool.
If you did it
It's a
like
cool
that,
idea.
if you did it like that though, you'd need pillars down into the end, probably, and I think they want to do football. Oh,
Eh, meh,
what? I'm just saying.
I know,
It
but
would be
still,
cool, but
yeah.
I don't know what the engineering fees.
Listen,
I know
I
you
think
don't care.
I hope it
You just
happens.
want cool stuff.
I just want cool stuff. I just
It's
want
cool
fun
stuff.
stuff to happen to
North Wilkesboro,
NASCAR.
bring us back. Dirt track, North
Oh
Wilkesboro.
no 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 no
I
no no
saw
no no no
someone
no
say
no
that. I
no
was
no
like,
no
oh
no no no
man,
no no no
that's the
no.
idea.
Joe, we have 8 minutes left, Joe.
Do
Started
we?
at 8:30. It's 9:22. We have 8 minutes left. If you get me on a tangent about the people who ask for North Wilkesboro, we're gonna be here for a long time. Because
Yeah, there's some people that I don't think understand the complexities of trying to fix that.
just add more short tracks to the schedule. Everyone likes short tracks. Short tracks are
I
good
don't.
races.
Hey,
Everyone puts short tracks on the schedule.
that goes back to my argument of over diluting. I think we're doing that with road courses this year. I think
First of all, I don't know about that. I don't know if I agree. I don't know if I disagree. I'm not saying I do with
Remember
either
my
one of those.
argument though about running
My
like 2 races at one track makes the both of them worse.
agreed. Yeah. So I kind of agree, I guess. But my problem is everyone seems to think, and everyone thinks they're so smart. Everyone thinks everyone's so proud of themselves when
Hmm.
they come up with this noble suggestion of let's just run more short tracks. We haven't had a new short track in the schedule since
Let's
1970
build one at Auto
whatever.
Club.
Let's do short tracks more. We got to take NASCAR back to the short tracks, and it's the best idea anyone's ever had. And then people forget that it's been 70 years. It's been since 1970. It's been like 50 years since we've had a short track on the schedule. Probably for a reason. There's probably a reason we're not just going
Tickets.
back to short tracks.
Tickets.
Oh, but I bet there's plenty of short track facilities that can handle a cup race.
Hmm. Yeah, there is.
Name them. Name them.
Sure.
Name
Yeah,
them.
totally. There
Yeah.
is.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you,
Yep.
Joe. God.
You
And
gotta
like,
go
yeah,
find them.
I'm sure technically there is. I'm sure
Let's go
technically
race at South
does
Boston.
NASCAR want to go to that market where they're gonna fill the stands with like 5,000 people? No,
That's
they
what the ARCA
don't.
series is for.
They don't. And I see the same thing. I saw the same thing this week with people who are like, man, they should just go to a real dirt track. People that people who've never seen a real dirt track race, they think this is good. Got them. It's like,
Did you though?
you think it's that
Did
easy?
you?
Oh, but Knoxville, Joe, they could go to Knoxville.
The trucks are.
The trucks are. The mean God. And it's a truck race. We're talking cup. They don't want to. How many people does Knoxville hold? Hold on, let me Google this.
Probably more
How?
than most dirt tracks.
I
But
know. I'm not saying
still
Knoxville
not
can't, but Knoxville is an exception. Knoxville
right.
is not the rule as far as dirt
Right.
tracks go.
Just like Eldora was. Eldora was the
Exactly.
exception.
Exactly. Let me see.
There's a reason Mansfield got shut down for the
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Capacity 21,000 people, which isn't bad. We're talking about cup. I mean, how many
Cup
people show
race
up
is
to a
usually
cup
like
race?
50,000
That's what I'm
at a
saying.
minimum. That doesn't even fill most of the stands at these 1.5 miles now. Ew.
Anyway, there's my rant. I did it in like 4 minutes, so that's pretty good.
Hey, let's go back to North Wilkesboro, Davey, because it's
Just
so
add short
easy.
tracks, duh, idiots.
Add short tracks.
Add short
Come
tracks.
on.
Just
That'll make it more fun.
Go to New Smyrna and Myrtle
Maybe
Beach
the problem
for the Cup Series.
maybe the problem isn't the fact that we're running intermediates. Maybe the package is the problem. Maybe why the short tracks are good is because they use a different package. I don't know. Because the short tracks were pretty bad a few years ago when they used the same package. I'm sure. Ew.
I hate.
But it's what the teams
it.
wanted, so.
Yeah, I guess.
They saved some money for a couple of years. Davey, where can they find more of these hot takes?
from me, they can go on Twitter at Davey Hazard to see my NASCAR opinions. And
that
my
are wrong.
and my awful, awful, awful Steve Lavender fantasy picks. I got Kyle Busch this weekend,
I
which
saw
is
that.
pretty good.
But there's no race this weekend.
Well, the upcoming weekend. But the rest of my pick, I got 2 points for Bristol Dirt off
Yeah.
of Ross Chastain, which I gotta
Yeah.
say I wasn't surprised by.
Oh, no. Be nice.
But Davey Hazard on Twitter, that's my at there at username at Davey Hazard at yep. And then my Instagram is at D7H5 and my Twitch is D7H5 with an ER at the end.
Sorry, I was just trying to help you.
I was trying to figure out the direction to point, but
towards your computer.
end.
Yeah. Well, remember, folks, if you want to help support JTN, the best way to do so is make sure you hit that like button on this video, to follow the podcast on your podcast platform of preference, and to subscribe to said podcast and subscribe to said YouTube channel. You can also find us at Johto Network on Facebook and Twitter. Give us a follow over there. That's a big help, especially if you're someone that isn't coming to these by way of our live race broadcasts, which you can always check out weekly. Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series is tomorrow or today, whenever this comes out, April the 1st. April Fools! And,
it's fake.
Fake. Rain tires are fake. If they are, good job, NASCAR. That rivals... Real quick April Fool's history. Do you remember when Stuart Haas announced they were switching to Ford? Do you know what day it was on?
Oh, no way. Was it
It was
really?
on April Fool's. I thought it was a joke, and then I saw it was from their official account, and I'm like, they can't do that. So yeah, real news does come out tomorrow, so make sure you figure out what's real and what's fake. Also, it's opening day tomorrow for baseball, another sport Davey gives no craps about.
Correct.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Again, help support us by hitting the like button, subscribe, follow the podcast, whatever you do to support your other people. Be a friend, tell a friend. And we will see you guys next time, I guess, or you'll hear from us next time. I guess we don't see you, but
see you guys. Appreciate you, and add more short tracks.
That's the solution to all life's problems. Short tracks. Bye-bye. Just add them. See y'all.